prayed about what to share with you on today, and God just told me to give you a message that will prayerfully encourage you today, that encourage your hearts and strengthen you on today. Really want to just share a message, God's rewards. There is more in store for you. God's rewards, there's more in store for you. I got an Olympic symbol there, especially since 2 weeks ago. I mentioned the Olympics, how demonic the Olympics started and all of the symbolism, and I didn't get all deep into it. Anybody with an ounce of discernment could see what they were doing and worshiping other gods and worshiping sexual perversion and worshiping all kinds of things. But the Olympics to me, though, really are very interesting because it's every 4 years, a group coming together of world-class athletes in all kinds of sports and all kinds of things. As a matter of fact, you look at the Olympics are, to me, always amazing. When you see people from all over the world doing great things and you find out that your backyard is not the baddest backyard in the world, and that there's a lot of great people doing a lot of great things. I was excited this year because I saw Africa emerging even more. Amen. Didn't y'all celebrate that? Africa emerging, and that was a beautiful thing. And, the South African 4x100 relay came in second. That's a big deal because most people there run distance, don't run sprints. The brother from Botswana, they kept calling him Tebogo. That is not his name. It's Tebogo. The G is ho. Tebogo. That's his name. Everybody say Tebogo. Yeah, and you got the man's name right. Yeah, it's a Katile Tebogo. He won the 200 meters, which is very interesting because the brother from America, the top guy, came out all excited and full of energy and everything. And then when he lost, he was almost dead and had COVID. But anyway, yeah, like you were perfectly fine 20 seconds before the race. But anyway, I digress. And so the Olympics is just beautiful. It's interesting. I enjoyed everything. Track and field, synchronized swimming. I mean, you name it, I looked at everything. If it was on wrestling, women's weightlifting, it didn't matter. Young woman, about 120 pounds, deadlifted, not deadlift. What do? You press it, have it up. 345 pounds. I said, whoa, this girl is strong. Man, that was beautiful. And she was a girl too. Yep, so I just wanted to say that. She was a girl. She wasn't trying to be something else. So it's just exciting. And what people miss is the sacrifice of those individuals who are there. Because, automatically you look and then you start talking about back when I was in high school. No, you ain't on that level. If you was on that level, we know who you were. But it's a phenomenal thing. And there's a scripture in the Bible that I believe will start us where I want to go. There's a scripture in the Bible that really blesses me from 1 Corinthians chapter 9, verse 24 to 27. It blesses me, and I believe it'll bless you because it says something that's phenomenal. It says, do you not know that those who run in a race all run, but one receives the prize? Only one person gets the gold. One receives the prize. Run in such a way that you may obtain it. And everyone who competes for the prize is temperate in all things. I'll talk about that in a moment. Now they do it to obtain a perishable crown, but we for an imperishable crown. Whoa! Therefore I run thus, not with uncertainty. Thus I fight, not as one who beats the air, but I discipline my body and bring it into subjection, lest when I have preached to others, and I put this in bold myself, I myself should become disqualified. Whoa, what a scripture. Now, it says here, everybody that runs to receive a prize. Everybody went to the Olympics wanted to win. Now, actually, in many ways, if you went to the Olympics, you were a winner from your country. Winners is a gathering of winners. Except for that country, the last Olympics, do you remember the woman, her mother was over the Olympic committee of her nation, and she just put her in, and she ran track, and she was like slower than somebody 85 years old. And it was a disgrace to their country. I won't even mention the country. Run in such a way, they run. So he says, everybody runs to receive a prize. Run in such a way that you may obtain it, which means you got to run hard, which means you can't just take it lightly, because anybody can win at any given time. And notice what it says in verse 25. I'm not staying here because I don't want to stay here too long. And everyone who competes for the prize is temperate in all things. We don't say that word every day, and that's why I want to kind of raise that up out of here just for a moment. We don't just walk around and say, I'm going to be temperate today. Temperate really means that you're going to have self-control. You got to follow a regimen. If you're a world-class athlete, if you're just an athlete, whatever you are, you can't do what everybody else is doing. You can't eat what everybody else is eating. You can't live what everybody else is living. And when everybody else is asleep, you working out. And everybody sees. Usain Bolt said it best. He says, you see the race as 10 seconds. It really was a whole lifetime in preparation. I prepared for 4 years for that 10 seconds. That's what Usain Bolt said. I prepared 4 years for a 10-second race. Now, for many of us who are not disciplined, it's just too much. I just 4 years for that 10 seconds to get the goal, to be called the fastest man in the world. You look at they laugh, these guys, and I don't want to start a debate right now, and I don't want to get stuck anywhere, and I don't want to alienate anyone in the room. But, they're talking about who's the best era in basketball and things like that. Who's the GOAT, and Michael Jordan versus LeBron. And so one of my sons said to me, man, Dad, back in your day, all they did in basketball was fight. That's the first thing he said. That's what I said. All they did, they were good at fighting, don't mean they were good in basketball. Then he said, and they hung out all night. And you can hang out. Michael Jordan was gambling all the time and doing whatever and hanging out. And I said, yeah, he was so good. He could hang out and still beat your guys. But the bottom line is this. You look at these athletes now. You look at a LeBron. You look at a Steph Curry. These guys 30-something years old when most people would be done. They literally spend millions on diet and trainers, and all these guys. You go back to Jordan, you go back to anybody. They pay coaches to coach them on the off season to prepare. They eat certain things. They can't eat what everybody else is eating. I knew a guy who was a world-class bodybuilder, and he always carried his lunch because he didn't eat nothing we ate. This was when I was young. He's like, I don't eat that. I don't eat that because I got to have this. My body is a machine. I got to eat in a certain way. I wonder how many people in their spiritual life are still eating like everybody else, living like everybody else. Because he says, I must be temperate in all things. I can't be like everybody else. Well, why can't I do this? Why can't I do that? Why can't I do this? No. I can't do like everybody else if I want to hit a certain level spiritually even. This is what it's saying. Now, they do it to obtain a perishable crown. They sacrifice to obtain a perishable crown. And most of those athletes don't make money. Like, we think every professional athlete is making billions of dollars. Most of those people in the Olympics work hard, do whatever. They're not making no money. They go home, work a job, and then work out and do all kinds of other things. They do it to obtain a perishable crown. But we are temperate to obtain an imperishable crown. Whoa! Therefore, we run thus, not with uncertainty. We run. Now, this parallel of running, get away from track and field, get away from the football field, get away from all of that. It's funny. Nope. Stay focused, Mathews. Now we get away from that. Now running is talking about your spiritual life. I run thus, not with uncertainty. I don't know if God is pleased. I'm not sure if God is pleased. Thus I fight, not as one who's just shadow boxing. Not as somebody who just act like, you see these guys walking around saying, yeah, I can play. I met a guy 15 years old, never played on the team in his life, told me he going to play pro basketball. I said, the devil is a lie. You ain't play no pro basketball. You don't even have a left hand. Here, what, you don't even know, most of the game is studying the game more than physical. He said, I run thus, not with uncertainty, thus I fight, not as one who beats the air, just doing things, just talking stuff. But I discipline, this is in my Christian life, I discipline my body and bring it into subjection, because your body will get your soul in trouble. Your body will take your soul to hell. And you would turn around and say, that was my body. Because you inside your body, because you felt like I disciplined my body. Now I'm talking to me right now. I got to check my body. I'm getting older. I'm trying to eat right, trying to take care of this temple so it can take care of me. All right? I'm trying to be true to my teeth so they won't be false to me. All right? Be true to your teeth or they're going to be false to you one day. So I try to take care of them and get them right. I'm trying to take care. I got to take care of this body. I beat this body. How much more spiritually? I just don't feel like. I don't feel like forgiving. I don't feel like doing right. I don't feel like fasting. I don't feel like praying. Who cares what you feel like? As a matter of fact, championships are won when you do things that you don't feel like doing. Ask the athlete, did he feel like practicing? I don't feel like practicing. Those are the best days to practice. I discipline my body and bring it into subjection, lest when I have preached, because if I don't put this in subjection, I won't stop preaching. I won't stop prophesying. I won't stop praying. When I get up, I can move the crowd. But guess what happens? If I don't discipline my body, put it in subjection, when I have preached to others, I myself will become disqualified. I think all of us know great preachers who might have went to hell. How can God let that man be such a great preacher and he wasn't saved? Because he didn't put the body in subjection. So he was disqualified. Look at the 4x100 relay team in the United States. 4 of the fastest runners in the world. They knew they was going to win. Everybody knew they was going to win. They already counted the gold medal. But the baton exchange was outside the zone. Now, we won't get into what happened, how it happened, but the bottom line is it happened. And it don't matter how fast you are, you're disqualified. They was mad. Canada was happy. South Africa was like, yes! South Africa still would have came in third. But maybe, I think they might have beat them. Hey, hallelujah. What about Sha'Carri Richardson? She won this time, but she learned a lesson last time about being disqualified. Because just because your mama died or something bad happened in your life didn't mean you need to smoke that stuff. So she had a long, sad story. It was a sad story, but you were still disqualified. Don't matter what your story, how bad it was. I was just feeling bad, so I just went and got high. I was just feeling bad, I just went and got drunk. You still disqualified. So this time she came correct. Now she can leave and be champion. She was not Olympic champion until she came correct. She was disqualified. Yeah. What about the sister from Kenya, Kipyegon? She was in the 5,000 meters, and they were fighting. She was almost kicking folks. And she got the bronze, I believe, and then they disqualified her, took her medal. She got it reinstated. Yeah. Look at the fights going on right now against your homegirl, right from Ethiopia. It's your homegirl, right from Ethiopia. They're fighting on the track. You know the interesting thing about Ethiopia? I went to the church in Ethiopia. I was in Addis Ababa, and I went to a church. This was a Coptic church, obviously. I went to the church, and I saw all of these Olympic medals on the altar or right outside, right at the church. That when people win their medals there, they come and say, God did it, and leave it at the church. Am I telling the truth? Yeah. I was amazed. I said, whoa. I mean, your Olympic medal, went and left it at the church, said, y'all pray for me, here it is. And they give tithe to the church and give some money to the church. That's deep. Anyway, have you ever been disappointed by God? Have you ever been disappointed? Maybe you weren't disappointed. Maybe you were disqualified. Because here's the problem. First of all, I don't want to be disqualified. I don't want to be on the field serving God, doing all this for God, and God says, depart from me, I didn't know you. Depart from me. He says, depart from me, I never knew you. What do you mean you don't know me? You knew my name. But see, to know is to not be a church attender. To know is not to be somebody whose name is on the roll or you a big somebody, because I big somebody ain't nothing to God. To know you is the word to have intimacy with you. Like a husband knows a wife, God said, I don't know you. I didn't know you. We didn't consummate this. You didn't want to spend time with me. You didn't want to hang out with me. You were so busy trying to hang out with the devil and his folks that you didn't want to be with me. Ooh, Lord, help me not to try to fit in with the devil more than I do with God and his people. Oh, you know, that's the people that say, I don't like church people. Well, then you don't like the people that the church people belong to. Church people belong to God. Now, not everybody in the church is saved, but if you ain't got no real saints, and you go to this church, don't have no saints, don't hang out with no saints, don't talk to nobody. All your friends talking about what they feel, what they thought, what they saw on Instagram. And then here's the challenge, y'all. Here's the real challenge. And then we get into where I want to go. Every day we hear about planting seeds and planting in faith today. Speak it into existence. Speak it out and you're going to get it. Speak this and God going to plant a seed. Declare and decree it and it's going to happen. And we begin to think that we can create reality, which you can. But we very rarely hear the full story. So there's a lot of people who are deeply disappointed in God, but they don't even know the big part of the story. I trusted God and told God to not let my mama die. The truth is, as a child, mother's supposed to go before you. So, and nobody's going to live forever. Nobody's going to live forever. I told God I needed a car, I need to buy a house, and he didn't do it. So I'm tired of God, and he don't do it. I did all this, and God hasn't rewarded me at all. He hasn't blessed me. Why ain't God blessing me? Because we got a bad theology to believe that our reward is here on life. Because somebody told you that you can have your heaven on earth. And then, we don't want to hear no pie in the sky. I want my heaven on earth. If you got almost $1 billion, you won't have heaven on earth. Look at your stars. Look at your role models. They're all in confusion and mess and jacked up with all their money. They got depression and they hire doctors to make new depression medication. They got all the money, all the stuff, but they still don't have peace or freedom. Money ain't going to fix it, so it can't just be. Now, don't get me wrong. God blesses his saints. Anybody here blessed? Anybody here blessed? Oh, I'm blessed. I know I'm blessed. I'm blessed. Even when I don't have no money in my pocket, I got favor. Woo! I'm so blessed, I don't even worry about it. If I don't have no money in my pocket, if it's time to eat, I know I'm going to eat. Let me get back here. I'm God's child. But that's just a piece of the story. God promised to bless. He said in Matthew 10, and he said, if you give up mother, father, houses, and land, I will bless you in this life. But he also said, but in the life to come. What he blesses us in this life is a small piece compared to what he's going to do beyond that. I hope y'all with me. In his life, you think your car is a representation of the glory of God? There's about 1 million other cars just like it. And it ain't worth the $85,000 you paid for it anyway. They jacked the price up because they want you to buy electric later anyway. That car ain't worth, I paid this much. Well, sorry. The challenge is that people don't understand. This is what we don't understand, is God's reward system. This is what I want to talk about just for a minute. We don't talk about it enough. Now, I've talked about it. It's been intertwined in many of the messages that I preached, but I look back over the record, I hadn't really preached the whole message on God's reward system. And that's why people this is why I don't burn out. This is why I don't get discouraged or don't stay discouraged. I get discouraged, but I don't stay discouraged. This is why I have hope. This is why I'm not ready to give up, because I understand the big picture. And I want you to be encouraged so that you can understand the big picture, not just, oh, God gonna bless me. I'm gonna have some money. I'm gonna have some clothes. I'm gonna have this. Man, the wicked worry about what they're gonna wear, what they're gonna eat, where they're gonna live. That's what the wicked worry about. We don't worry about those things, because my God shall supply all my needs. And God didn't raise no weak mamby-pamby folks that looking for a God that'll pay their bills. We don't need God to pay our bills. We need God to give us the strength to work so we can pay our own bills. Need God to pay my bills. God take care of me. God give you the power. In Deuteronomy 8:18, it says, it is me that gives you the power to get wealth. If you're going to get wealth, it's because you work, it's because you think, it's because you got spreadsheets, it's because you strategize and you follow biblical principles. God don't just dump money from heaven. He gives you the power to get wealth. Can you do a pro forma? You can't even do Excel. How you going to be a millionaire? You sitting there with a pen and pencil, you don't even know how to do Excel. You got a business? You got a business and you buying stuff in the first 2 years, you ain't ready. God ain't blessing me. No, you lazy. The stuff we want God to do, God said, I want you to do. God don't bless your marriage. God blessed your marriage when you got married. Now, if you want your marriage to be blessed, humble yourself to your spouse. Love your spouse. God bless us. Why don't you say sorry sometimes? That'll be the blessing of God. When the last time you said, I'm sorry, I'm wrong? You can't even say I'm wrong. And now you say God didn't bless your marriage with your arrogant self. No, that ain't God. You can't even say I'm wrong. No, because remember when you, back in 1972, you know you said something, and I'm still mad, and I ain't never wrong because I'm still mad. You still wrong since 1972, and you wonder where God is. God wonder where you at. You want God to bless your children? Raise them right. Raise your children. How you go all summer, they ain't read nothing? How you got them watching TV? How you got them with cell phones at a little age flipping through a phone and they don't even know how to talk to humans? That ain't God's fault. God, just bless my children. You cursing them. You got them wearing what everybody else wear, doing what everybody else do. Drinking $30 coffee. What your child drinking $30 coffee for? Here you go, baby. Look at, we at Starbucks showing a picture of their God and everything. That wasn't in the notes. Full disclosure, I went to Starbucks the other day and got a what they call a medicine ball. And then I said, I can make this myself. I can do bad by myself. I paid $4-something. Let's go to my favorite passage in the Bible. The last book and the last chapter of the Bible is my favorite. That's my favorite for real. That's my favorite of favorites. I know I see y'all looking at me like that, because there's a lot of passages I say are my favorites. But this is good stuff. This is the last book, the last chapter, and it explains it. And I got to get moving because y'all done took me off on a tangent. Y'all took me somewhere. You said amen, so, you know, that's a... Now, I do want to say this, too. This is part one. I'm going to preach part two tonight in an evening service. So if I got to stop soon, I will. Revelation 22, let's just read down to verse 14. It says, and he showed me a pure river of water of life, clear as crystal, proceeding, look at this, the book starts great. Proceeding from the throne of God and the Lamb. In the middle of its streets, on either side of the river, was the tree of life, who bore 12 fruits, each tree yielding its fruit every month. The leaves of the tree were for the healing of the nations, and there shall be no more curse. But the throne of God and of the Lamb shall be in it, and his servants shall serve him. They shall see his face, and his name shall be on their foreheads. There shall be no night there. They need no lamp, no light of the sun, for the Lord gives them light, and they shall reign forever and ever. Let's keep going. And then he said to me, these words are faithful and true, and the Lord God of the holy prophets sent his angel to show his servants the things which most shortly take place. Behold, verse 7, behold, I am coming quickly. Blessed is he who keeps the words of the prophecy of this book. Now I, John, saw and heard these things, and when I heard and saw, I fell down to worship before the feet of the angel who showed me these things. Then he, the angel he's talking about, said, see that you do not do that, for I am your fellow servant and your brethren, the prophets, and of those who keep the words of this book. Worship God. That's a whole sentence right there. Worship God, period. And he said to me, do not seal the words of the prophecy of this book, for the time is at hand. Verse 11. And he who is unjust, let him be unjust still. He who is filthy, let him be filthy still. He who is righteous, let him be righteous still. He who is true, he who is holy, let him be holy still. Whoa! And the final two verses. And behold, I am coming quickly, and my reward is with me to give to everyone according to his work. I am the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end, the first and the last. Whoa! That's enough to shout on all right there. That right there, ooh, that's enough to stay saved forever. Whoa! We don't talk about this enough. We still talking about we going through the devil busy. Do you see this? This is the end of the book. This is the end of the book. This is how we end. Say, anybody here, anybody born again, saved, love the Lord, say something. This is your end. This is how it ends. I ain't preaching on hell today. I'm talking about my end. I want to encourage you right now. I can encourage you in preaching on hell because I ain't going there. Anybody not going to hell? And don't let these fake new preachers tell you there ain't no literal heaven or hell. If that was the case, this is all we had, we're men most miserable. Jesus talked to heaven. This passage makes it very clear. I can't stay here too long. First of all, look at verse 1. It said there was a pure river pure river of water of life, clear as crystal, proceeding from the throne of God and of the Lamb. This water originates with God and flows pure and crystal, non-polluted, river of life, water of life. And in the middle of the street, by the way, which is paved with gold, how does a tree grow in gold? Only God knows. In the middle of the street was the tree of life with 12 fruits for every month. The tree, wait. This is the same tree of life that Adam ate from. They said, no. They ate from the tree of knowledge of good and evil. Wait a minute. They ate of the tree of knowledge of good and evil. Then he said, kick him out of heaven so you don't eat of the tree of life. Because if he eats from the tree of life, he'll live forever. Genesis 3. And he said they'll live forever. Now the tree of life, which provides everlasting life, every month is in season. And the leaves are for the healing of the nations. You can't get sick because you got healing leaves. Then he says in verse 3, there will be no more curse. I'm not just talking about the hoodoo woman that threw something on y'all family with the roots. I ain't just talking about that because you broke that in the name of Jesus when you got saved. Had a curse that was on your fathers and your mothers, your grandmama, your great-granddaddy, the curse that's on your family, everybody all dysfunctional. You break that through the blood of Jesus. I ain't living in no curse. I'm not going to be like my family that came before me. It's a new history for those that come after me. Somebody that believes it, shout yes. He breaks that curse. I remember my grandmama said our neighbor, Mr. Hill, he dead so I can say it, Mr. Hill was putting hoodoo on our family. And my grandma was trying to fight fire with fire, but I fought fire with the blood. If Mr. Hill put something on us, she used to call us in there. Y'all come on. Mr. Hill trying to put something on you. Don't eat nothing from Mr. Hill. Mr. Hill looking out at us. He trying to do, he come like a bat at night. I don't know what all was going on. But when I came to Jesus, whatever Mr. Hill and anybody else tried to put up on me, it was broken by Jesus. If you know it's broken, shout yes. But in heaven, there'll be no more curse because we still live in the curse because the earth is cursed. The curse is that we die. But now we're going to be there. We're going to have eternal life. Jesus said, I'm the resurrection and the life. He who believes on me, though he were. Come on, Tabernacle now. Wait a minute, let me try that again. He said, I'm the resurrection and life. And he that believeth on me, though he were, yet shall he. And whosoever liveth and believeth on me shall never. Whew. He break the curse of death. Break the curse of sin in heaven is broken. Hallelujah. We see his face. It says in verse 4, we will see him, his face, and his name shall be on our foreheads. What you mean on my forehead? Which means anybody who see you know who you belong to. Look, if it's something on your forehead, can't nobody miss that. Bam! I belong to Yahweh. I'm one of his. Woo! And then there shall be no night there. You know, I mean, they're getting bold now. They jack you during the day, but night is when all the bad stuff come out. The freaks come out at night. Check the footnotes. That was Houdini. But there won't be no night in heaven. Won't need no lights, won't need no lamps, won't need no sun. Won't be a sunrise or a sunset. Because the Lord himself will shine. And it'll be day all the time. Somebody say always hello, never goodbye. If there's no need for night, that means there's no need for sleep. Because our body is being regenerated always because we're being new bodies. Not this body get tired about 10:30 and 9 o'clock at 11 o'clock at night. We'll be regenerated. Not that knee pain. No more of that headache. No more of that, oh, I feel my back. No more of all that. It's going, woo, we have bodies that will go on forever and ever. As a matter of fact, there will be no forever in heaven. Yeah. There will be no forever because there will be no time. You need forever to have time. I've been studying physics. I've been studying physics because it's helping my walk with God. I wish I had paid more attention in school when I was in high school and college, in physics class. And they talk about dark matter and dark energy, but they're talking about time and the speed of light, right? What is that, 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd power meters per second, something like that, right? Y'all help me. Yeah, is that okay? The teacher said I was right. Okay, or we both wrong. One of the two. One of the two. Speed of light is so fast. Once you hit the speed of light, theoretically, because no one has ever gone the speed of light. Speed of light, you know, we talk about light years. So that light took this many years to get here. Right? It's 8 minutes from the sun. Light takes 8 minutes from the sun. When we see the sunlight, that was 8 minutes ago. We see from certain star, that's 20 years ago, the light traveled to get here at the speed of light. So once you hit the speed of light, though, it goes beyond time because time itself is a creation. Time was created, and the speed of light goes faster than that. And if God is light, then he is timeless because he's outside of time, space, and matter. And so as we go going with God at the speed of God, at the speed of light, there won't be 1 week in heaven, 2 weeks in heaven. I'm going to live here forever. Forever is now, and now is forever. And time is one with God, and we will go with him. And if you don't understand it, I don't either, but I can't wait to be there. Woo! Hallelujah! There shall be no night there. The light will continually shine. And then he says, I'm coming quickly. It's the first time in verse 7. First time. And he says, whatever you have chosen. Now, this is important. as I get to this, if you look in verse 22, verse 11, he who is wicked will be wicked still. He who is filthy will be filthy still. He who is righteous will be righteous still. He who is holy will be holy still. We just read that. Whatever you are, when Jesus comes, that's what you're going to be. There ain't no flipping the script. There is no repentance. If you filthy, you're going to stay filthy. If you wicked, you're going to stay wicked, and you're going to go where the wicked people go. If you're righteous, you're going to be righteous. I hope y'all hear. Let's go back. Let's go back and look at it. Let's just go back just for a second. I'm sorry, because I just feel like somebody like, come on, Pastor, you tripping. Nope, because see, I'm not tripping. Look at it. Where was that verse? Verse 11, right? Verse 11, that's the last one right here, class. Verse 11, he who is unjust, let him be unjust still. He who is filthy, let him be filthy still. He who is righteous, let him be righteous still. He who is holy, let him be holy still. Choose you this day who you going to serve, because what you are is what you're going to be. If you die, you're locked in. Right now, we got a choice. You die, you're locked in. You go to sleep, don't wake up, you're locked in. Ain't no praying. That's why we don't pray for the dead. Once they dead, once you dead, you are what you were. That's why everybody in heaven going to be in heaven because they want to be in heaven, and everybody in hell going to be in hell because they want to go to hell. Ain't nobody going to be in hell against their own. I didn't want to be in hell. Because hell is where God ain't. And if you don't want to be with God, he sends you to where he's not. Because he ain't going to force you to be in his presence. Everybody in hell wanted to go to hell. So the question, why would a loving God send us to hell? God don't send us to hell. He's begging you right now through me, don't go to hell. But if you go, you choose. God don't make you go to hell. That's the God I serve. I told you, y'all know the example I always use. When I first met Sharon, Sharon moved from Crowder, Mississippi, came to Detroit. I saw Sharon, she had on all white. I saw an angel white. I ain't seen nothing that fine ever in my life. Hey. I walked in my parents, she was at my parents' house. I said, whoa, who that? I want to get to know you better. But I was afraid of her. Because she was out of my league, right? I was afraid of her. She was out of I came home from football practice. I promise you. I came home from football practice, and I was like, wow, that is a woman. And I said, hi, how you doing? My name's Vincent. Yeah, nice to meet you. She said, nice to meet me. And she sounded different than everybody around me because she had a little different accent. Where's she from? Mississippi. Really? They doing it like that down there? That's what I said. So then I'm gonna cut this. She ain't here to stop me, y'all. She in children's church. She would by now be saying, stop. Nah. I can keep talking. So then here's what happened. Here's the whole story, y'all. Here's what really happened. So I was scared, but I came to my parents' house, and then I went in their living room. I sat on the couch that mama say nobody can sit on. Right? Yeah, there's furniture that only the company get to sit on. But I knew if I sat there, if she come out the room, I could see her. And so I put out all my school books because I was in summer school because I had played around. And so I'm sitting there studying, and she came out and said, hey, how you doing? It was Sharon, right? Yeah. And so she said, what you studying? And I was like, oh, okay. She asked me what I was studying. So I started talking about my class. Yeah, I'm checking this out, studying this. You know about that, right? Yeah, I'm looking at this. And she's looking. Then I cracked a joke, and she laughed. And I was like, I'm in now. She laughed. Ooh, you found something funny? So then I said, can I call you? And she said, yeah, I think you can call me. You got a pen? And this was the sealer. I said, you don't need a man that can't remember 7 numbers in a row. But you need a man that can't remember 7 numbers in a row. Just tell me your number and I will call you. Woo! You need a man that can't remember 7 numbers in a row. She said it fast too. She said, bah, 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 bah. I said, That night, I called her. I put on my good voice. How you doing? She said, who this? It's Vincent, because there wasn't no call ID about that at the time. Yeah, this Vincent, you gave me a number earlier. I told you I remember it. You sure did. So then I felt like, I said, I'm getting to a point, y'all. It's going to make sense in a minute. I felt like this the woman. I ain't never met somebody so transparent, so real, so whatever in my life. All the women I met were so fake, just fake. And I met this real woman. I said, this could be a wife. Won't nobody treat her better than I will. I do all I can for you. I wasn't ready to get married, y'all, but I felt like I was. I was in love. Now, I could want her, but if she didn't want me, I said all that to say that. I could want her, but if she didn't want me, I couldn't force her to be with me, even though I felt like I'd treat her better than any man ever would. She had to make a decision, because if I forced her to be with me, I would have went to jail. If I followed her around and say, you're going to live with me anyway, and I'm going to make you love me. Yeah, they call them stalkers. They call them all kinds of things. I would have been a bad person. So if that's for me as a man, how much more is God not going to make you? He ain't going to make you holy. He ain't going to make you be saved. He ain't going to make you. He ain't even going to make you not sin. Now, he'll tell you don't sin, and then you override it, but he ain't going to make you. God, why you let me get into this? No, you got yourself into that. I said all that to say, my anniversary coming up too, y'all. You know, I just remembered. Yeah, who said that? Yours too, yup. Y'all just celebrate love. Then we see a couple other things. Let me show you this. I spent too long on that. Click, let's go back. He then says in verse 12, I am coming quickly, and my reward is with me to give to everyone according to his work. We don't talk about this enough. God is coming quickly, and he's bringing rewards to give to everyone according to your work. What? I told you this is why I don't get burnt out. This is why I don't give up. This is why I don't worry about. So I want to talk about just for a moment. All that was really the introduction. I want to go to heavenly rewards. Now, check this out. This is very important to know. We are not saved by works. Your works don't save you. The scripture says in Ephesians 2:8-9, for by grace you have been saved. Not as Dietrich Bonhoeffer, I think I quoted him last week. Not as, 1 week, cheap grace where I can do whatever I want and God just going to forgive me. No, that's a pimp move. You can't pimp God. It's by grace, the favor of God, that you've been saved through faith. And that is not because you did it. See, we shouldn't be so happy that I chose Jesus. We should be more happy that Jesus chose us. Jesus called you. And none of us, not one of us, were worthy of salvation. If you think you was worthy, and I get so tired of these folks that were raised in the church. I love you that were raised in the church, but that believe that they've been saved all their life. Because you was in the womb when your mama was in church. You was in the womb, but you were sinful. You were born. You had everything, but you were still sinful. At some point, you wasn't saved. You were coming to church all your life. But there was a time where you had to accept or reject Jesus. Salvation is a gift of God. But that gift is not of works, lest anybody should boast. So our salvation is not of works. However, when we get to heaven, there will be judgment. And we will be judged based on our works after we've been saved. What have you done for God since you've been? Did you really think that getting saved was just, I'm going to try to do better and come to church every Sunday morning? That ain't salvation. I don't know what that is. That's churchianity. That's good churchianity. I'm going to put on some nice clothes and go to church, do God a favor, and go out to eat after church and go watch the game. did God a favor. Now hook me up this week. There are two judgments. Are y'all with me? Judgment. There's the judgment most people think about when you say judgment. There's the white throne judgment. I don't know if that's the white throne. I just look for a white throne. So don't get too married to the throne. There's the white throne judgment. Revelation 20, 11 to 15. Are you all with me? By the way, all these notes will be on the website. I didn't say that in case you didn't know. The notes will be on the website by tomorrow. You can pull every one of these slides and you can go through them all. So don't say, I didn't understand. Now, look, Revelation 20, 11 through 15. Let me just read that with you. Then I saw a great white throne, and him who sat on it, from whose face the earth and the heavens fled away. And there was found no place for them. For who? Those who fled away. And I saw the dead, small and great, standing before God. And books were opened. And another book was opened, which is the book of life. And the dead were judged according to their works by the things which were written in the books. Oh, by the way, God is keeping record of everything we say and do. He said in the Bible, every idle word you will be held accountable for. Whether people knew you talked about them or not, whether anybody heard it or not. When you was in a car by yourself and you said it, every idle word we're going to be held accountable for. That helped me keep my mouth shut. And the dead were judged according to their works by the things which were written in the books. Verse 13, the sea gave up the dead who were in it. Everybody that was in the middle passage. And death and Hades, death itself was judged. The grave is judged. Death and Hades were delivered up, the dead who were in them, and they were judged, each one according to his works, straight out of the grave. Then death and Hades, here to go, see this, well, I really got ahead of myself. Death and Hades were cast into the lake of fire. This is the second death. And anyone not found in the book of life was cast into the lake of fire. Do you see that? How do we found in the book? We saved. Now, that's the first. That's one judgment. Now, I plan to miss that one. I plan not to be at that one because I plan to be righteous. Hello, somebody. I plan not to be at the great white throne judgment. I don't plan to be at that one. I plan to be at the judgment seat of Christ, which is also called the Bema seat, which is really refers to a platform by which you come up to receive your reward, like they do in the Olympics. You step up, and they play God's anthem, whatever that is. The judgment seat of Christ, or the Bema seat. We see it in 2 Corinthians chapter 5, verse 9. Therefore, we make it our aim, whether present or absent, to be well-pleasing to him. Wait a minute. Therefore, we make it our aim to be well-pleasing to God. For we must all appear before the judgment seat of Christ, that each one may receive the things done in the body, according to what he has done, whether good or bad. Knowing, therefore, since we know the terror, what? We don't use this word next to God. The terror of the Lord. We don't use that word. All we say is he's loving, he's loving, he's loving, he's loving, he's loving. But if you love, that means you discipline. So since we know the terror of the Lord, God is a God of judgment, God is a God of wrath, God is a God of patience. He's being patient right now, but he ain't blind. Since we know the terror of the Lord, we persuade men. But we are well known to God, and I also trust are well known in your consciousness. So verse 10, we must all appear before the judgment seat of Christ, that each one will receive things done in the body according to what he has done. We'll be judged according to our works, and we'll be rewarded based on our works. Look at Revelation 14:10. But why do you judge your brother? I know when somebody in a backslidden state, they always talking about what the church ain't doing, what people ain't doing, what nobody doing. And usually people that talk about what nobody ain't doing, they ain't doing nothing. They ain't did nothing. Yes, I know I use Ebonics. The children are upstairs. They ain't did nothing. But why do you judge your brother? Or do you show contempt for your brother? For we shall all stand before the judgment seat of Christ. John 9:4-5, you know this one. You learned this one as a child if you've been in church. I must work the works of him who sent me while it is day. The night is coming when no one can work. In other words, there'll come a time where your works won't count. It's what you do now in this life. Now, I want to say this to some of you because I'm growing older, and I meet some of you. You're growing older in life, and you say, some of us have regret and say, man, if I'd known what I knew then, I would have done different, and you feel regret. I would have worked different, because people will have you in church doing a bunch of stuff that have nothing to do with the kingdom of God. Some of us wasted our lives spinning wheels, doing nothing that mattered with the kingdom. Following rules that had nothing to do with God, pleasing God. They were man-pleasing rules. You spend all this time doing all this foolish mess, and now you look and you see the kingdom. You say, what have I done? What do I have to show to God? You still here, ain't you? Now, you may not be able to do what you did when you was 35. You may not be able to do what you did when you were 50. You might be in your 70s or 80s, but you still here. And what matters is work while it's still day. Jesus gave a parable of people who worked all day. One, he brought some, worked during the day, brought some in the afternoon, brought some about 3 o'clock, brought some that only worked an hour. And he gave them just as much. It's not too late if you're still here. It's not time for regret, saying if I only knew, if I this, that, and the other. Now is your time. And you may not be able to do what this one can do. You may not be able to dance like this one can dance, but you can sure worship God. You can still lift your hands, can't you? You can still shout hallelujah, can't you? Yeah, you may not be able to dance like that one. You may not be able to jump like that one. You may not be able to run down the street like that one is doing. But God will give you kingdom things to do in this time while it's day. Because when we get to heaven, there's going to be even different levels of joy. Some people are going to be disappointed when they get to heaven. Ain't that deep? Heaven and disappointment? Yep. Look at Luke 15:6-7. I say to you that likewise there will be more joy. If there can be more joy, that means there's levels of joy. More joy in heaven over one sinner who repents than over 99 just persons who need no repentance. There'll be people that will be like, what? What happened? What do you mean by that? Let me show you why. Let me show you why there'll be levels of joy in heaven. First of all, you'll be glad you made it. And there are going to be some people not in heaven that we thought was going to be there. There's going to be some bishops in hell. There's already some bishops in hell. Yeah, what you talking about back in the good old days? Back in the good old days, there was sinful, crazy people too. It ain't just today. There will be bishops and supervisors and superintendents and district missionaries because your title don't matter. Don't get you a ticket in. God going to test our works. The Bible tells us this. God will test your work and your motives. Because you can do good things for the wrong reason. Just to be seen. Just stay with me a minute. I'm almost there. Look at 1 Corinthians chapter 3, verse 11-15. For no other foundation can anyone lay than that which is laid, which is in Jesus Christ. No other foundation. Now, if anyone builds on this foundation with gold, silver, precious stones, wood, hay, straw, each one's work will become clear, for the day will declare it. What? If you build on gold, silver, precious stones, wood, hay, straw, each one's work will become clear for the day of the Lord, for the day will declare it, because it will be revealed by fire. And the fire will test each one's work of what sort it is. So there's different kinds of work. That's why I don't need no entourage. That's why I don't need you cleaning my house and shining my shoes. That's why I don't need you coming every time you see me, you got to give me some money. Devil is a lie. I'm a grown man. I need the work. I don't need you handing me money. Hello, somebody. What I need you to do is be a disciple and let's work together. Let's fight together. That's what I'm saying. Let's go together. Bam, I fire, you move. Bam, you fire. What? Boom, go. I got this. Boom, go. I need us to go together. Fight together. Fellow warriors. Taking out demons and rescuing people from hell. That's why I preach, this is not a stage. Don't you ever call this a stage. This is a pulpit where we pull people from the pit. This ain't no stage. Stage for the demonic Grammys. This is a pulpit. I need nobody. You a bishop. I need that dead stuff. God defines what a bishop does, not some precedent of what somebody did down the road. You want to know what a bishop look like? Read your Bible. I'll show you what a bishop look like. You want to know what a saint of God looks like? Quit looking at Mother McGillicuddy that when you was a kid, she did this and gave you a butterscotch. You better look and see what God requires. Because there's going to come a day, he's going to say, oh, you did everything that mother did. She didn't get nothing and you ain't getting nothing either. If anyone's work which he has built on it endures, he will receive a reward. If anyone's work is burned, he will suffer loss, but he himself will be saved. Yes, so it's through fire. There's going to be some people in heaven that's going to suffer loss. Ooh, I'm here. Hallelujah. Ooh, I went to tabernacle, y'all. Glory. And they be like, would you go over that lucky you here section? You just blessed to be here. No, you don't understand. I was this and I was that and I did this and I did that. It was all burned by the fire. And then there's going to be some people that y'all overlook and think they nothing because they don't dress like you think they should dress. They don't drive what you thought they should drive. Their hair ain't looking like you thought it should look. Ain't nothing wrong with looking good, because I know I look good. But, all right? But that ain't the definition of who you are. They don't have what you thought, and they not what you thought. They may not be as articulate as you are. They may not be as intelligent. They don't have the degrees on the wall that you have. You're not on my level. But somehow they were surely impressing God. And I'd surely rather impress a holy God and leave you unimpressed than to have you impressed and God unenthused. Woo! Some folks on the prayer line, they ain't just praying and snoozing. Some of y'all won't even dial in. You can't even dial in. You don't even have to dial no more. You just go on the website or go on the app and hit prayer link. Made me lazy. I forgot the number. I just hit prayer link on the app. I won't even do that. Now, I'm busy. Now we pray like 5 times. We pray at 3 in the morning, 11 at night, 6 at night, noon, 6 in the morning. You still ain't got time. But there's somebody who just keep on praying. They ain't doing nothing. They just praying. But there's something to God. It's something to God. They ain't doing nothing. Them folks, they up there in children's church just with them kids. Because you ain't want to be bothered with no little snotty-nosed kids. But somebody pouring into the next generation. They ain't doing that. They over there, I don't know. No, that ain't me. Don't you know I'm this at my job. I can't do little stuff like that. But somebody, they came to the, what did we have yesterday? The cookout yesterday. And was intentional. Went and sat with somebody just to encourage somebody. Maybe help them to make it along the way in between a hot dog. That was some kingdom stuff. Instead of just me and my family over here, because I got special this. I got my chilled prune juice and everything. There's going to be some people in heaven that's going to have suffered loss. There's going to be some that are there. And there's going to be some people who won't even make it because we thought we knew. That's why I said, Lord, help me not to follow dead examples. Help me not to follow dead examples. That's the God of this day. We be saying, oh, he did this, they did this. What does God say? And I got to do well, because sometimes we do good just to be seen. When nobody looking, we're not doing well. It ain't good enough to be nice to the pastor and you ain't nice to nobody else. How you going to speak to me and you didn't speak to nobody else? Wait a minute. How you going to speak to me and you didn't even speak to my wife? I don't like him. I like him. I don't like his wife. Well, you don't like me. Because we won. I'll tell him again since you said it. How you going to like me and not like my wife? Because if you don't like my wife and you like me, you don't like me because we won. You probably ain't married. You don't understand oneness. Man and wife are one. You can't like me. I like you. I don't like her. Because, I don't like women anyway. That's a whole nother subject, and I'm going to stay off of it right now. Can I talk? I'm done. I got 3 more scriptures. Got to get my 3 more scriptures. Got to get 3 more scriptures. Got to get 3. Got to get a 4. Got to get a 4. I got a 4. I got a back 4. Back. I got a 4. Got to get 5. I got a 5 scriptures. All right. I'm almost done. This is bad. I had somebody back there saying 10. I'm like, Lord, I just go on. Don't tell me that. So it's a beautiful thing when you know. Now, tonight I'm going to get into what is the works that earns rewards. That's tonight. I'm getting to what exactly should you be doing to earn the rewards. First, I just need you to know there's rewards. And I need you to be encouraged, because if everybody overlooks you, as long as God sees you. I found out. Here's what I found out, y'all. The closer you are to be like Jesus, the more sinful carnal men count you small. The more you try to be like Jesus, the more people like, that ain't nothing. I found that. And it used to bother me because it's pressure. You know, the pressure is that maybe I need to be more like what they expect. But if I'm more like what they expect, then I'm less like him and what he expects. So then I want to be like the apostle said, I don't know, but I'd rather please God than to please man. Because men pleasers, God sees man pleasers as sinful. All right, 3 scriptures. I know I had an auction. I shouldn't have did the auction. 3 scriptures that I want to talk about something. I want to talk about a few crowns. Oh, wait a minute. I already did that scripture, didn't I? Oh, wait a minute. Oh, yeah. You can also lose your rewards. I got to give you this. It's 4 scriptures, sorry. There are many deceivers have gone out into the world who do not confess Jesus as coming in the flesh. This is a deceiver and an antichrist. Look to yourselves that we do not lose those things we work for, but we may receive a full reward. Did you understand that? There are many deceivers out there. You start following their doctrines and their teachings, you can lose those things that you worked for through deception, and you won't receive your full reward. Which means that at that judgment, God will say, you should have gotten this, but you gave that up in deception. Now you only got this. Because you was listening to, ain't nothing wrong with YouTube, but who you listening to on YouTube? We on YouTube. There's billions of voices on YouTube. Now I want to talk about a few crowns. Just 3 quick crowns. If you look through the Bible, just look up crowns. There are many types of crowns in the Bible. I don't have that could be a whole message by itself. As a matter of fact, y'all remind me. This is the section that will remind me. This is this section right here. Y'all remind me. Whole message series on crowns. All right? Okay, thank y'all. They told me to remind me. If I don't preach it, blame them. All right. 2 Timothy 4, 6 through 8. For I am already poured out as a drink offering. This is the apostle at the end of his life. He said, I'm poured out. My life is almost over. I'm about to die. Can I just say this? Saints die different than people who ain't saved. Saints receive death differently than people who ain't saved. Saints are not scared to die because death is not our enemy, because death has been defeated. Everybody I know is saved. One thing I hate about my job, but I guess I love about what I do, is to deal with people at the point of death. And everybody I meet who's really saved, it's a beautiful thing. I usher them, they, oh my God, I'm about to go there. Regrets. Because let me tell you something. People that are dying never think about, I should have worked more overtime. People who are dying never say, I should have bought more clothes. I should have went shopping more. They start seeing things a lot different. And when you save, you die because you recognize I'm going to life forever. And there's nothing more beautiful, by the way, if you're with somebody who's saved, than to usher them into death. To let them know, the Lord is on the other side. You're going into victory. You're going to your reward. Embrace. Don't go. If they ready to go, usher them. Help them in this transition. We should cry when somebody born. We should celebrate when somebody dying. Somebody born, they got to go through all this. Somebody dying. When I die, if you're around and I'm dying and you come see me, don't you come in there talking crazy. Now, you can pray for me to be healed. And if I say, you know what, I'm up out of here, then encourage me in the Lord. Now, here's the problem. You know when somebody's saved or not when they're in trouble and they don't want to hear scriptures. I don't want to hear no scriptures. I need something else because they never really believed in the scripture in the first place. When you got a problem and you cannot be encouraged in the word, it means you didn't believe it in the first place. The word encourages saints because the word is God's word spoken to us. What else can you say? What else can you say that would encourage me? That ain't the word. Because I don't know about you. When I experience death in my family, your money can't do nothing for me. You come with $1 million, I still got the pain that I have. But when somebody comes sit and remind me of what God has said and what the word has said and how my inheritance in God, then I can be strengthened. We become so carnal. Well, I don't want to be churchy. I don't want to be religious. Let me think. I think Deepak Chopra said, I think Oprah said, Iyanla Vanzant said, you going to all the witches to encourage us? You asking Google for a motivational word? You Googling for me? No, you need to go in the Bible. Only the word can encourage the saints. And let me tell you something. If you dying and you not saved, only the word, they really need the word. Like, listen, it's at the end. Listen, might be your last chance. Don't you want to make it right with God? You can make all the promises you want. I'm going to take care of Bookie. I'm going to take care of Junior and Boo-Boo and them. And I'm going to make sure your house is right. That ain't going to do nothing for them going on the other side. You want something to eat? That's what we always go to. Why don't you just eat? Dude, just eat. I'm just going to put something in your mouth. That ain't going to fix it. You with somebody, they dying, you encourage them in the word. If they saved, encourage them. If they not saved, lead them to Jesus. Give them to Jesus. Because on the other side, you close. On the other side is darkness. I have fought a good fight. I have finished the race. I have kept the faith. Finally, verse 8, finally, there's laid up for me the crown of righteousness, which the Lord, the righteous judge, you see that? Will give to me on that day. And not to me only, but also to all who have loved his appearing. The judge will give you a crown of righteousness. Here's another crown. Here's another crown. James 1:12. Blessed is the man who endures temptation. This will help you get through temptation right here. This will help you get through problems, help you get through temptation. I don't know what you tempted by, lust, drugs, sex, pride. I don't know. Blessed is the man who endures temptation, for when he has been approved, who does the approving? The Lord. He will receive the crown of life. We saw the crown of righteousness. Now there's another crown, a crown of life, which the Lord promised to those who. I'm done. This is my last verse. There's a typo there. It says 1 Peter 5:2 equals 11. That should be 2 through 11. Shepherd the flock of God, which is among you, serving as overseers. By the way, This is kind of my job description right here, and I believe it's your job description for ministry. Serve as overseers, not by compulsion, but willingly, not for dishonest gain, but eagerly, not as being lords over those entrusted to you, but being examples to the flock. Whew, man, that's right there. But I'm tempted. Right there. That's what ministry looks like right there. And when the chief shepherd, now he called us to be shepherds, now the chief shepherd appears, you will receive the of glory. The crown of glory that does not fade away. When you serve as an overseer, not by compulsion, you got to do this because I'm over you and I'm that. Not dishonest gain trying to get paid. Somebody said to me, you a bishop, you must be a millionaire. I said, how am I be a millionaire? Where did bishop become a millionaire? Where that salary at? And I told y'all a long time ago, I told you this, when we were about 20 people in this church, I said it other times, I said, I'll never be a millionaire. Some of y'all will be, but I'll never be a millionaire, but millions will come through my hand. We did a survey, we did an analysis of ministry we've done over the last 4 years. Not counting the churches, over $250 million have come through my hands for ministry. How much money I got in the bank? I don't have much, but I'll tell you what, God supplies every need. Over $250 million we've done in ministry. That's just in one aspect. I haven't even counted this. I haven't even counted this $8 million transaction. I haven't even counted the millions of dollars of stuff we give away on a week, monthly basis. I don't have to worry about it. I don't have to worry about it. Stuffing money places. We got money all in my drawers. No, devil, I don't have to worry about that. Because my God shall supply. We about close to $500 million in ministry. $500 million with a B. Not for dishonest gain. I'm trying to get paid. What am I trying to get paid for? That don't mean I shouldn't get nothing. You get what I'm saying? We're trying to get rich, trying to get whatever, trying to bling. I need a pastor that wear $5,000 suits so I don't trust him. Then you got a slave mentality. You sick. You trust a man because of his shoes. You trust a woman because of the grade of the hair that she bought. You sick. It's your sick self. Ooh, you know how expensive that wig she got on is? That's borrowed. I will not elaborate. You get a crown of glory. God wants you to be an eternal champion. I want to pray for you now. Our time is up. I want to pray for you now. You believe that you're set to be a champion. You can't be. Now tonight I'm going to talk about how you, if you will, if you allow me to use this terminology, how you score points. How do you win at this? How do you do the works that God requires for righteousness? There's biblical explanations for that. But I needed to remind you that there are eternal rewards and that your labor is not in vain. That's me. I did that. There's a scripture that I quote often that I believe fits us right here, right now. Galatians chapter 6, I believe starting at verse 7 through 9. Be not deceived. God is not mocked. Whatsoever man sows, that shall he also reap. You sow to the flesh, you reap of the flesh corruption. You sow to the spirit, you reap eternal life. Therefore, let us not be weary in well-doing. For in due season, you will reap if you faint not. I could explain it a bit, but I won't. But it really says you're going to reap what you have sown. And usually when we say that, people talk in a negative. You're going to reap what you sown. I saw somebody the other day. I said, oh, you're going to reap what you sown. They said, what did I do? And no. This is a beautiful thing. You're going to reap what you have sown. You're going to reap. Some in this life, but much more in the life to come. God promised to bless you in this life, Please don't misconstrue me. He promised to bless you in this life. And I'm looking at some blessed folk. I'm watching you be blessed. But there's even that's just a taste of what more is in the life to come. I know I'm walking in the blessing and favor of God. I know God blesses me. I know God blesses my wife. I am not bemoaning. My money, no. I don't need to be a millionaire. My daddy owns everything. And whatever I need, he supplies it. Don't worry about that. I know you. I can name some of you who are worth $1 million. That's great. But I'm just saying for me, I'm a slave. I'm a preacher. So only way I could be a millionaire, I'm doing ministry. So I can't accrue like that. Whatever comes, whatever assets come is to be a blessing. I'm glad that the church is a blessing. We actually, no, let me just stop. I'm going to stop right there. I pray to God to let me be a conduit. Let your blessings flow through me to others. I'm going to be a conduit. I want to be one that blessings flow through to be a blessing to others. Anybody around me is blessed because I can bless them. I don't want to be. That's why the word says it's more blessed to give than to receive. Because if it's flowing through you, you don't muzzle the mouth of the ox that treads the corn. You get some corn too. But if you always saying, give me, give me, give me, and it's a dead zone, that's where mosquitoes grow. That's where fungi, bacteria grows. Let it be a flowing river. I want to pray for you even right now. Can y'all
We recognize something. When Tabernacle Church started, this is not a church for women only. It's a church for men and women together serving God. But the men must be the priest, provider, and protector, must be the priest of their home, must provide for their family, community, and protect us. This resolution today was so important because it reminded us that we must honor God, we must honor our families, we must walk in forgiveness, we must walk in integrity, we must not allow negativity or foolishness to arrive in our own minds, our own hearts, in our relationships, in our church, and in our community. Today, this was an epicenter of change heard around the world when 50 men come together, and many may not have been here, some had emergencies, but at least 50 men standing of all living generations saying, I'm going to be a godly man of character. This is why it's so important. Our church has turned a corner. Our community has turned a corner. The world has turned a corner because these men watch this space and see what they do to literally impact the world.